Files down, the office door slammed open. A man strode in, contempt heavy in his steps, dressed in a tailored suit. A watch worth more than most apartments on his wrist. Gareth Voss, 20 years gone, and he'd clearly done well for himself. You run this company now? He tossed a Cadillac Eldorado key onto the desk, claiming the room without waiting for an invitation. Who told you that you could fire my son? I ignored the challenge, leisurely picked up my teacup, and poured myself some tea. Mr. Voss, still as loud as ever, looks like the years have been kind to you. That stopped him cold. He stared at my face, searching for recognition but coming up blank. He didn't recognize me at all. 20 years ago, I had been a scrawny 6-year-old thrown out on a single word from him. Now I ran a billion-dollar corporation. There was no way he'd remember me. He assumed I only knew him by his marriage into the Voss family. Since you know who I am, let's skip the games. His voice was slow, carrying the practiced arrogance of a man used to being obeyed. Cedric is my son. Having him at your company should be an honor, but a man of his caliber shouldn't be stuck as a regular employee. Move him straight into management. I smiled slightly. Is he worthy of that? His face twisted in confusion. What did you say? I set down my cup and met his eyes, letting the words land. I said, he isn't worthy. He shot up, white with anger. Listen here, Thorne. Don't push your luck. My son working here is doing you a favor. Do you know how many deals the Vosses close every year? One word from my wife, and your company walks away with enough to set you up for life. I watched his outburst and wondered, was this the same face he wore when he forced my father out all those years ago? Sorry, a partnership with the Vosses is beneath me. I pressed the intercom on my desk. Send up 2 security guards. They arrived swiftly. The guards hauled Gareth Voss back, his eyes wide with shock. A man of his status, yet someone had actually dared to lay hands on him. Then, the office door slammed open again. A tall, lean young woman stormed in, barely in her early 20s, dressed head to toe in streetwear. She jabbed a finger at me and snarled, "Who do you think you are? Laying hands on my father? Keep this up, and I'll have my mother shut this dump of a company by tomorrow." I looked at her bold face, her brow and eyes tracing the same sharp line as Gareth Voss's. Then a memory cut through my mind, that rainy night 20 years ago when I lost 2 people at once. The father who had cared for me, and my baby sister. She had been barely a month old. If she had lived, she would be about Alara's age now. "This is your daughter." My voice trembled more than I intended. Of course, Alara Voss, my daughter with Helena. I studied them both, then smiled coldly. Good. I stood and met Alara's glare. Go home and tell your mother. I'd love to see how she plans to deal with me. The guards quickly escorted them out. I sank back into my chair, picked up the glass of water that had gone cold, and drained it in one gulp. This was only the beginning. After they left, I gave my assistant another order. Pull everything you can on Alara Voss. The more detail, the better. The file arrived quickly. Alara Voss, 20, Onu, college senior, currently interning at the city television station. The television station. The odds were unbelievable. I stared at the file, hesitated, then made the call anyway. It rang once before Rosalind Hale answered. Boz, why are you calling this late? I thought you were swamped today. Rosalind, my girlfriend and star producer at the television station. Her voice soft but tired. I stayed silent for a moment. I didn't want to drag her into this, but she was the only one who could help. Do you have an intern named Alara Voss? Without missing a beat, she said. Yeah, word is she's the Voss Group heiress. How do you know her? I hesitated, then admitted, I don't want to see her. Can you get her off the internship? There was a pause. She knows me. I'm not the type to make a fuss without reason. Bass, what's going on? Nothing. I just don't like that Voss family. My voice dropped low. She didn't press further. Okay, I'll take care of it. I exhaled, feeling a weight lift. I was grateful for her. I'll come by the station tonight to pick you up. After work, I drove to the city television station. I barely stepped out of the car when I saw Alara. 2 security guards held her back as she spat curses. On what grounds are you firing me? Because I cursed at a few people on the clock. My mother is Helena Voss. Cross me, and you cross the entire Voss